I want to briefly talk about process strategy, which is related with the supply chain management. What is process? We talked about process before. Process is basically a collection of tasks and activities and functions that are connected by flows and goods and information, physical things as well as virtual things. And through the process, we can transform various inputs into valuable outputs. So process is actually at the core of value creation. And sometimes we talk about whether a certain industry is a service industry or manufacturing industry. In the past, people try to make the distinction between these two by looking whether we can have inventory or not, whether we can have a physical product or not. But what about McDonald's? Is McDonald's in service industry or in manufacturing industry? McDonald's obviously makes physical products, hamburgers, right? So somehow we say that McDonald's is in manufacturing sector, but it's not it's not comfortable for us to say that McDonald's is in manufacturing industry. Why? Because we know that during this value creation process, the customers get involved to significant level, and therefore it's not comfortable to say that McDonald's is in the manufacturing sector only. And as we can see in this example, how to make a distinction between service and manufacturing? Probably the best criterion is to estimate how much customer involvement is required during the value creation process. Having said that, I think that the somehow is useless to try to make a clear distinction between service and manufacturing. Is a BMW in manufacturing sector? Traditionally, yes, we would say the BMW is a manufacturing sector, but as BMW tries to increase its cars manufactured in the make to order system, then BMW is approaching more service orientation, and therefore sooner or later I would say the automobile industry will have many characteristics very similar with the service sectors as well. So it's not just about service versus manufacturing, but it's about how to make it ideal mix between these two. And I think that every industry, every company should try to have a more service orientation in the future. And we want to look at this as process structure or process strategy, which can be applied to both service sectors and also manufacturing sectors at the same time. In order to define this service process strategy, we want to look at two dimensions: volume versus customization. Okay, so volume, we just say that low volume and high volume, or customization, high level of customization and low level of customization and high level of customization. And let's think about this one. What are the examples? What are some of the examples? If we look at this, food industry, let's say McDonald's. Somehow we can place here. A McDonald's volume is large. In other words, they sell lots of hamburgers in a day, but their customization level is relatively low. So McDonald's is placed here, and we call that as standardized system, or if it's manufacturing, we call that as make to stock system. Make to stock system. What about very luxurious French or Italian restaurant in a five-star hotel? In that restaurant, the food is prepared exactly according to the requirements of the customer, requirements of the consumer. Okay, so the customization level is very high, yet we know that the volume is not that big. In other words, you don't actually, you know, sell your table several times. In the hotel, probably the table is sold only one time during the dinner time, right? So the volume is pretty low and customization level is pretty high. So we praise the luxurious restaurant here, and we call that as make to order system, make to order system. Or we can say that that's kind of project style process, project style process. And now we can imagine that there might be some inverse relationship or trade-off relationship between customization and volume, right? So we have sort of a trade-off relationship. And here some people also add some other system, and they call that as assemble to order system. And now somehow we can say that there is trade-off or inverse relationship between volume and customization. It makes sense, and that's why we sometimes call this as feasible region. Feasible region. That means that any company can have business here. Any company can do business in this area, as long as you have the so-called quality, the qualifying, right? Order qualifying attribute. As long as you have order qualifying attributes, you can be here. Everybody can be here. The other side of that statement is that nobody can make more money than others if they are in the feasible region. So everybody just have really marginal profit that helps them to survive in the market. But there is another concept, which is mass customization. Mass customization is what? We want to retain high level of customization, yet we want to make those things in large volume. So mass customization has become a very important goal of a company. But the thing is that mass customization is somehow awkward in the sense that it is outside the feasible region. So by definition, mass customization is kind of contradicting our common sense, contradicting our traditional way of thinking. But we know that if company achieves this mass customization, the company will be able to earn more profit, and the company will have more competitive advantage vis-a-vis its competitors. Then the question is, how can a company to achieve this mass customization? Supply chain coordination or value chain coordination and integration is the way the company can achieve mass customization. Okay, so this we also call channel capability as opposed to individual capability. That's the big difference between channel capability and individual capability. Channel capability is actually supply chain capability. On the other end, there is individual capability. Individual capability is the ability, firm's ability that that individual company can unilaterally enhance. So individual capabilities is specific to that individual company, whereas channel capability is something a single company cannot unilaterally develop. The channel capability must be nurtured through the coordination between the supply chain partners and between these value chain partners. So how to accomplish this mass customization? How can the company reach that goal of mass customization? The only way to achieve that mass customization is through effective supply chain coordination or effective value chain coordination. So this is another example why we emphasize the importance of coordination and why it's very critical issue, not only from is supply chain management, but from this whole value chain management and sustainable issues and so on and so forth. I think this concludes our discussion on the supply chain designing issues, structural dimension and infrastructure dimension. So whatever you do, you have to pay attention to these two dimensions at the same time. And think about this computer analogy. If you have only hardware, it's useless. If you have only software, it's useless. Only when you put them together and only when you use them together effectively and efficiently, then you create some values. It's the same situation in supply chain management. You better look at this structure dimension and infrastructure dimension at the same time. That's how you can optimize, you can maximize both efficiency driven value and responsiveness driven value at the same time.